Is it on?
Don't see you. They're all saying no, not yet. Oh, here you come. Oh, it's a commercial.
I'm going to read one.
Oh, let me skip ahead. There you are.
Am I there yet?
Yes, honey.
Okay.
You are.
Okay, I'm just skipping this.
Can I hear you, though? That's what you need to know.
Yeah. Okay, our computers are side by side, Mr. Patient and I. First of all, I need to know, can you hear me talking? Because we've got a mic set up over here. So somebody said, can you hear us talking? Wave. Can you hear us?
Yes.
There's your
yes, they hear us.
Brother Perry. Okay, we want to say hi to every single person by name, but oh my goodness, can I do that? I better not. I mean, we got to get on with the show. Woo! Okay. Just skimming and making sure we're all here. Y'all, I'll welcome you here in a minute, but I want to say I tried to be fancy. And at the beginning of this, I tried to tack on a little video. I'm learning these things that they say creators can do. And I find these little tabs and I click on it and, oh, I didn't know I could do that kind of thing. So I posted at the beginning of this a video. It's an old video, but it refers you to the fact that when I do this, I'm trying not to cough. It refers you to our website where I have so many menus and meal ideas. Okay, now I have to drink my lemon water all night.
That's funny. There's a delay. What I'm watching to what you're doing.
Oh, well, I'm taking this tonight. I have been for a while.
See, because I'm just now seeing that.
Okay, well, don't. So
this is weird for me, y'all. I'm not used to watching on my computer.
Can you hear him as well as you can hear me? That's another question. Somebody say yes or thumbs up or do whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get through this with minimal coughing in your face. I'm not sick. You know what I mean? I feel much better than I did, but this cough lingers. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. And I tell you, I have things written down I want to go over. I don't want it to be like a rigid, thing. I want us to have fun. We've been looking forward to this, but I don't want to forget something. Every now and then I have to stop and breathe and keep me from coughing too much. But, yeah. Here, let's get really fancy and have some background music. All right. Hello to everybody. Yes, my YouTube buddy, Darlene. So many good, dear friends out there. And y'all, and I mean, when I say this, I mean it. Mr. Patient and I, especially the fact that, we traveled to meet our social media friends, right? Our YouTube friends and so forth. And
yep, we
did. Y'all are not just subscribers or followers or viewers. We don't even like to use those words. But thank you to our subscribers and followers and viewers and so forth. We thank you. And so many of y'all have become very dear friends and some are going to become very dear friends. All right. Well, so we have our, see, I'm already deviating from what I said.
No, you're not.
Okay. Now, look, he's over here tonight. Tell him, what's your job? While I drink some water, tell him what's your job.
To watch for questions.
If you don't have questions, he's out of a job. Somebody give him something to look at. And because that way I don't have to go through my granny glasses the whole night and crook my neck and stuff.
Because what's going to happen is at some point she's going to look at me and say, "Do you have a question?"
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now look
hold
at
on
our
a minute. Okay.
look at our shirts. This one came the other day. Ellie, when did we get our shirts? 2 days ago, and I got this color. And I know I'm broken out. I do that when I get nervous. I'm nervous. I am nervous.
Why?
I don't know. I've been nervous all day.
It's your friends. Why are you nervous?
I know, but I've been nervous all day. I've been maybe excited nervous. But these are the last design that we did. We'll talk more about that. Hey, okay, that is a question. Hey, y'all write your questions in all caps. I caught that question.
No, wait
she didn't write it in all caps. That's
my
his job.
That's my job.
It's your job.
Hey, Miss Katie, you have a question.
Okay, what is the question?
Will you have a meet and greet someday in Ohio?
Yes, we will. It is on my calendar. It is in my mind. My first one is going to be for patrons. And that's all I'll say. I won't say when or where. We have an idea where. We went driving around the other day and we were like, okay, this is good. And we put it on the map because it's hard to find. In the beautiful Mohican country, right?
What you talking about, Willis?
Pay attention if you're going to be in the party. The meet and greet. But we're going to do
yeah.
We're going to do patrons first because I need to start small and figure out what I'm doing and how to do that kind of thing. And I also have to think about in this day and age, safety and security of my little children. If it was just me and Mr. Patient, I don't think anybody's going to kidnap him. I mean, he's worth it. Worth kidnap. Or wait.
Put the shovel down. Put the shovel down.
Derailed. Okay.
Put the shovel down.
Hold on to your questions a minute and I'll ask you about them. So yes, ma'am, I was already thinking, and I've also got my wheels turning about a non-patron thing too. I've got my wheels constantly that I can't even sleep
at night.
Yeah, see, I can't sleep
because her wheels are turning. She's not able to mind dump like a man.
All right, so write all the caps, or all the questions in caps for Mr. Patient. Want to I'll check the comments and scan them every few minutes or every off and on. But I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you stay tuned for the whole thing. I do have lots of stories and fun things. I want y'all to ask questions about cooking, about the recipes I did, about filming, anything like that, or whatever you think is appropriate to ask tonight. I want to talk about some behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to give away a cookbook and talk about some new projects that I have not announced to anybody. A lot of them I've announced on Patreon, and a couple I have not because they're new. Real new. All right. So yeah, I got us a little music. Okay. All right. So we are here to end the Project 54 series. I'm not going anywhere on YouTube, Lord willing. My cough, I want to say this so y'all don't think I'm catchy or something. That's what we say in the South, catchy. Are you catching? Meaning, are you contagious? So I'm not catchy or I'm not catching, but...
She's contagious, though.
In a different sense, I guess he means. But I, when I talk a lot, no jokes, but when I talk a lot like this, it's just, this is what happens. I could sit there for 3 hours and never cough. So that has made, that's probably why I'm nervous too tonight, but that has made recording in the past 2 weeks so hard because I'll start talking about something and I feel fine, and then I have to edit a million coughs out of the stinking footage. So that has made it hard. Do you have any questions over there?
Yes, we do. Miss Lori wants to know, hey, Mr. P, what's for supper tonight?
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. And Friday night, we have pizza every Friday night.
Now, the irony of this is, I made, yesterday I canned 15 quarts and 7 pints of pizza sauce. And tonight we order pizza out. But I was busy today trying to get some things going that we're going to talk about in a minute. I had to transport little Miss Homemaker to her job and so forth. More questions? Give me 2 or 3 and then we'll go into the... What?
Miss Amy's wanting to know if you've tried a dream catcher yet.
No, does that help my cough?
You're sleeping.
Oh, dream catcher. Is that an oil? Is that
no, honey. It's one of those.
I know Native American things, but I didn't know if it might be a name of an oil too. Okay.
It's not that she's dreaming. It's just that she can't slow her mind down.
Oh, I see what you're
with all the things that she thinks about that she wants to do or get done.
Ideas.
Kind of thing.
You have another question that you missed.
There is. There is. She says the oil. So there is a dream catcher.
I thought it was an oil, okay, and you're over there laughing at me about the Native American thing.
I didn't know that. I just know the Native American dream catcher.
Bless his heart. Bless mine. Hey, there's your friend Karen. From Washington. Okay. Terry wants to know how the grilling is going, but that was in capital letters. You were supposed to read that one.
But it wasn't a question. That was a comment.
Miss Tanya, you didn't put a question mark, so that really
Terry
threw me
wants
off.
to know how the grilling is going. That is a comment.
Okay,
that is an imperative statement.
Okay. It's a declarative, not an imperative. But go ahead and answer the question.
But it's not a question. It's going good. In fact, I've got chicken over here brining to grill tomorrow night. Miss Katie's kind of given up on Saturday night cooking. She expects me to do it now. And it's all your fault, Mr. Terry.
Thank you, Sherry. I'll get that. And these comments will be available. This chat will be available after the fact. So I'll actually go back and read them again too. All right. And I want to keep apologizing for my cough, but that's annoying to apologize. So yeah, we'll keep doing that. I don't know how to make this a big screen. So here we go to the next thing. All right. Okay, before we get started any further, I want to tell y'all about the new thing that we have going, and that is the membership. Now, you've probably seen some of the bigger channels, and they have the word join next to the word subscribe. That is where you can join, be a member of that channel. And we just got that feature. I don't know when we got it, but I'm just now exploring it. And I wasn't going to do it at all because I thought it was going to be a lot more work. And also, we have our patrons at Patreon, almost 50 families. And I just am pleased with that platform. But I was thinking the other day, after a lot of folks have shown an interest in how can we support you, but I don't want to go over to Patreon. I don't want another platform to look at, which, teach your own, whatever. I mean, that's fine. I understand that. Somebody said, I don't want another password to remember. So that's fine. And I thought, well, okay, I'll provide this avenue and you can take it or not. So now we have, as of today, memberships. Okay. We have memberships, and I call them, it's one level, one tier or level or whatever, just one. And it is $2.99 a month. And you get badges by your name. So little colored, I don't know how to describe them, but little circles. And it starts at green and goes down to red, depending on how long you've been a member. So green is new. So the people that joined today have little green circle things. And then it goes down like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and whatever, a year, whatever. So also, it's kind of fun. If you saw at the top of the chat that I started with, and I'm going to type something here, and I'm going to say, hey, and I'm going to show you. See, I just typed, and you've got, oh, see, Amy. Look, Amy. Yes. Amy is a new member today. So if you see the person's name in green and the little circle, that person is a member. And of course, this is day 1. But like I typed my name, and that little emoji is me and Mr. P. I'm just thrilled that I figured it out, y'all, because look, technology, I don't love technology. This is a means to an end. I love putting the video content out. I love that thing, that part. But the technology, oh my stars. So I'm kind of proud of myself when I figure things out. And they said, well, you can make custom emojis. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to figure that out. So what I decided to do, and I figured it out, I've got a custom emoji. So YouTube only lets me have so many per number of members. So we have 3 members now, so I'm allowed to have 5 emojis. So as our members grow in numbers, I can add more emojis, and I have like 20 emojis ready to go. So those people can use those emojis. So I got it'll be things surrounding our home and folks that you all will know about, like the emoji I just added this afternoon is a rabbit, because Little Miss Homemaker has a rabbit named Lucy. So the name of the emoji is Lucy. So everything is going to be surrounding our family or home, heritage, hope, and that kind of thing. So that is what memberships are. New today, brand new. I have a video out telling about it, and you can join or you can not join. If you don't join, you're not missing out on anything. Like, you're not going to lose out, except on an emoji of Mr. Patient's head. I have that emoji coming up, and I sent it to him at work, and he was like, oh, that scared me. So I don't know what we'll do, but I'm playing around with the emojis. So any questions there?
Yeah. Will the YouTube membership have different content than Patreon?
Good question, and it will not. Patreon is going to stay the same. In fact, we're going to beef it up a little bit. We talked about, Mr. Patient and I talked about that. So going forward, we're going to kind of beef that up, whatever that looks like. We're talking more about that. The YouTube membership is just to get those special badges by your name, like Amy has there, and the emojis. So it's just kind of a fun thing. No extra content, no exclusive content. You're not missing out on content if you're not a member. So I hope that answers your question. And if it doesn't, feel free to ask. Okay, so I'm going to jump into the questions here. Why don't you stop me when you have 3 questions? Can you do that, please? So one thing that somebody asked me at the beginning, and what I've done through this whole series, is made a list of funny things or not funny things or questions y'all had that I didn't answer, so that we could respond tonight. All right, here's the primary apron that I wore during the series. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. The B at the end. We'll talk about that and why. You may already know. But here's the apron that I wore. A lot of folks who were new to me since last year are not familiar with the fact that I did make those aprons to sell. Now, I say do/did because right now, well, in June, I had to halt that because I had a couple of apron orders right at the beginning of Project 54, and I thought I would pull every last, well, I'm not going to say that. I did it to myself. I put a lot on myself. So I had to decide, okay, I'm not going to take any more apron orders. So are you helping them with a button? Is that?
Yeah, but I mean, I answered.
I don't know the question.
Miss Tanya answered, but I mean the join button on my computer shows beside the subscribed button below the viewing panel.
But okay. Well, maybe afterwards. If you is there, I'm not reading them all, so I'm asking you. Is there a question about the join button? Basically,
No,
I guess after this is
but
over,
I'm seeing it right there. So, and Miss Tanya's seeing it there.
Okay, so where there's the
sure.
subscribe or the subscribed button, if you're already subscribed because you're coming, there should be a join button. But you may have to wait till this is over. Maybe I don't know that. Anyway, okay, aprons. So somebody asked, was it reversible? It is not reversible. It could be made to be that way if I wanted to, and I might someday, but it's not reverse. I mean, you could reverse it. So I guess technically it is reversible because I take, pains to make the inside as nice as the outside. I mean, I put my heart and soul, and I even pray over every apron. So the inside is a nice, on all of them, nice buttery fabric. Now, I'm not advertising this right now because I'm still not taking orders right now, but I will be, Lord willing. I have got enough fabric upstairs to stock Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Peanut Gallery.
Because we bought out Hobby Lobby.
I bought out Hobby Lobby when they weren't going out of business.
I know you said 3 questions, but
one
of the questions is dealing with the aprons.
Okay, yes, sir.
Will you be offering another apron design pattern options in the future? So while you're on aprons, go ahead and address that.
Well,
question.
fabric patterns, yes. Like I said, I've got a lot upstairs, but apron patterns, I have plans, but I would have to clone myself 14 times to get all my plans done. And I actually have a clothing line planned out on paper, and that includes 2 more apron patterns. But that won't happen anytime soon because I have other priorities, and I'll just jump right into telling you about that. The cookbook that I'm writing. Did you have another question?
Yeah, there's another one.
Go ahead.
Will you be doing another cooking series? I'm going through withdrawal.
Oh, how sweet. Yes and no. We'll talk about that here in a little bit too. The series that I have planned for September and October, but it will not be as intensive.
Oh, but that's not a cooking series though, is it? Well,
no, not really. You're right.
It's a series, but not really a cooking series.
Here's the thing.
She will not be doing a cooking. I will go ahead and say she will not be doing a cooking series where she is putting out a video 5 days a week. That was a lot. And she did it as a personal goal for herself for her birthday. She really wanted to do that, and I supported her doing that, but that was a lot on her, and I would like to say I don't want her to do another one that does 5 videos a week because that was too much. That was too much, I feel.
Okay, and number one, I appreciate his support. He was never negative, like all through the thing. In fact, we would go out for date night on Thursday nights, and he would always say, okay, where are you? Where are you on next week's videos? And he would try to keep me on track. And the thing was, at the beginning, I was doing well because before it started, I already had 4 videos out, up and ready to view. Like number 30 something, I already had it done before the thing started. And so I was on track to stay ahead of myself, and then life happened. Life happened. Just stuff. It just happened. And then I got sick twice. And then my garden did its goofy thing, and I had to give that attention. So,
then you got me doing drop biscuits.
Oh, that one night I was like so sick, like cold allergy type sick before this sick. And I said, please, I know you do not want to do this, but please, will you make drop biscuits? And he was reluctant. He was like, look, I don't want to, but I'm going to do it for you.
I'm okay being on here with Miss Katie, but I don't like being on there by myself.
And somebody might say, well, why didn't you we would have understood. I know that this was a goal for me. And without getting all sappy and too personal, I had to prove to myself that I could do this. And I'll just leave it at that. But
you did it.
And I did.
Woo!
But anyway, I want to say, and Tanya, who's a moderator on here, she and I have talked about this, how these people do these daily vlogs, and they do a good job, and they're edited, and they got all the aerial shots and the drone stuff and the thing, and how they do that. And they got, 12 kids or 7 kids or 5 kids, and they got every animal on the planet on their farm, and they got canning all the things, and I seriously, and I'm not making fun of them, I don't know how they do it. I do not know how they do it. And I can't do that. I just, I mean, and they homeschool, all that. I don't know how they do it. I want to thank my moderators tonight. Excuse me. If you see a little blue wrench by somebody's name, they are a moderator, and I appreciate them. Do you have any questions? I saw some capital letters. So.
Will you do a holiday cooking special?
Oh, great idea. Let me write that down. Like special, do you mean like what do you mean? Give me ideas and I'll do them. Like, do you mean like a series or do you mean like a what?
There's another question that goes along with it. It says, can you give us a peek into what content you have planned for us for the upcoming holidays, specifically Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Okay. Sure. I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you what I've got, but this is not, don't hold me to it exactly because, well, I'll just deviate from my notes. My notes are just kind of to keep me from forgetting things. But my plan, okay, this is what I've learned. And I told Mr. Patient this. I've learned this about myself and about y'all. And it's been interesting. I was hoping I would learn something about my audience. And I did, but I also learned it about myself. But apparently the television and the Hollywood people knew it first. Because I think y'all enjoy a series. Like, I mean, I'm not leaving YouTube. So it's not like this is it and I'm gone forever. But it's kind of nice to have a beginning and an end of a series. And I don't know why. Because a lot of y'all have been emotionally, or maybe not emotionally, but have been invested in it. And I've been every way, physically and emotionally invested in it. I prayed over it. And I too have found that I appreciate a series. Like I think I can, that way I can put my random out of the box ideas into a box, which is a piece of paper, excuse me. And I can say, you know what, I can do this for September or for October. And so, although I love to think outside the box, sorry. I love to think outside the box. It's also nice to be able to organize those not random, but those outside the box thoughts. Take it
as far as a holiday cooking special, she's saying like holiday cookies, candies.
Yeah, I am going to do that.
And here's let's see. Here's a really important question.
Okay.
How much does Mr. P make an hour as your assistant?
Okay, I did the math. Let's talk about how much I make an hour.
No, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the question.
Well, we'll go from there. Let's talk about the highest paid person. I'm using y'all as a mirror for my little Lila Rose clip because I'm all of a sudden burning up. Okay, I'll probably.
And then there's another question about aprons.
All right, so I did the math, and some of y'all may not. You may not believe this. Not that I'm lying. You may be surprised at this information. But as much time as I put into this, and I'm not complaining, I'm trying to help y'all understand how a lot of the YouTubers with our numbers and so forth. So I made 25 cents an hour doing Project 54. 25 cents an hour. Mr. Patient made, I don't know, 1%. He's going, look, that's what he made. Oh, but
I got to eat.
He got to eat the food. Yeah, and don't
wait a minute. I got to eat some stuff.
We're going to talk about that.
I got to eat some stuff, and one of our friends on here, I had to give some of the good stuff to that friend.
Okay. I'm sorry, Perry. He is bitter
right.
about
Okay.
the strawberry icing.
All right. And back to the holiday thing. Also, holiday crafts, table settings,
Oh.
kind of anything holiday-ish.
Home.
Anything home and
I
holiday.
love that suggestion.
Also, there was one about the aprons. Will there be any men's aprons?
Oh my goodness, what kind? Like barbecuing? You know, like
well, it's Mr. Terry asking, so yeah, it would be.
Well, but you know what though? I mean, he wears one. Like, you know, my apron, since everybody's asking about him, my apron idea is I'm going to make, and this is long term. Since y'all asking though, I'll tell you. Clothespin apron. I've already made myself one. I made my own pattern up. I love it. Clothespin apron, a canning apron, a basic cooking apron,
a gathering apron,
and a gathering apron, but it's down on my list. But yes. I love the series.
Is that impressive that I used that term?
Yes, let's go back to the series conversation. So my my plan is in September, I'm going to have a new series. And I was going to have an intro video for that series tacked on to the end of this tonight. What time is it? Okay. I was going to have. Oh, hey to Gran. Okay, I just saw that. Everybody say hey to Gran.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'm looking at the last question.
Okay, I wasn't looking at that. Y'all, you're distracting me. That and him. And what was I even talking about? For the love of Pete,
oh no,
law mercy. He's not. I need help. Well, my friend over here texting. She wants to help me with the thing, and I love her. She's my sister. And then he's over here. What am I talking about? Okay, September. No, being serious. Let's be serious a minute. I have been thinking a lot. Soul searching. Stop, really, because I'm trying to think. What? Oh, hey, Gran. Everybody needs to say hey to Gran. Okay, and look, remember, y'all saw Gran's lime pickles. Tell her if you like her lime pickles or not, because they're hers. Except, you know what? I hate to say this with Gran being on here, but just today, accidentally, I found in Aunt Coco's, my great aunt's cookbook that she wrote of the family. She wrote the history and everything. And I was putting the cookbook up, and it fell open to lime pickles.
How about that? And
my great grandmother had made lime pickles with the same recipe. So, but I'll still call them Gran's pickles. But still, I was like, really? I thought Gran made it up or something. Well, and Miss
Katie made a batch of Gran's pickles, and it was on her Project 54 during the canning week. And we were making something last night, and she's like, well, you don't have any pickles to put in. And I'm like, you just made some. They're downstairs in the larder. Go get pickles. And she's like, oh, but I don't want to use what I just canned.
Okay, that's a question for y'all. Do you use what you just canned? Because no.
Well, it's pickles.
I just went all that trouble. I'm not fixing to open jars of canned stuff.
But the thing is, if you're canning squash, okay, I get that, because you can still get fresh squash, but pickles, lime pickles, once you run out, you got to open another jar.
Moral of the story was we got him a jar open, and we put tickles in his pickle.
You put tickles in.
Pickled a peck. Pickled. We put pickles in his tuna.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled
September.
peppers.
So what I was saying, I said that in the video. How many of my videos did you watch?
I lived them.
He lived them. No, you didn't. You weren't here. So September, let's get back on track. So September, I'm doing what's called the Good Steward series. Seriously, it's based off of Luke 9:52, if I'm remembering right. Keep your hand to the plow. And that series, I wanted to make an intro video, but I have the thoughts and swirling around in my heart, in my head so much that I couldn't figure out how to explain what the series is about. So the series, and I'm calling it a series because I've got the thumbnails are all going to look the same, and you'll be able to identify them, and it'll be on a playlist, and it will be cooking. I'm going to do most everything I do from now on is going to have some sort of cooking angle. The majority of my content, just that's what I enjoy. That's what you enjoy, but it's going to be the good steward, and it's going to be content that is going to teach us all. Basically, I'm inviting you. I am learning, and I am working on being a better steward right now. And this coming month, better steward of my everything. I mean, my health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, my spiritual life, my Bible study, my children, husband, children, home, food, money, everything you can imagine, because all of our blessings are from the Lord. And I won't keep on about the series necessarily. It's more of something from my heart than kind of a fun little thing to have content. It is more of, I'm inviting y'all to come along with me this next month. And quite honestly, I already have 3 videos filmed. One of them is how I use leftovers to make his lunch one day. One of them is a frugal breakfast, but it's all just me trying to not really learn, but to revert back to where I think I've lost something. I've lost something in not being the best steward. And I'm talking about my eyes, my mind. We have a new series, not series, but a product, magnets that we're going to sell, that I've designed one night when I was sitting in the recliner and I can't handle just doing nothing. So I just designed a line of magnets that I think you're going to appreciate, and they're not going to be expensive. I've already ordered some to see what they're going to look like. They're from a local company, Colorado or South Dakota, somewhere out there. And
Made in America.
A man, a wife. And so anyway, that magnet series, magnet line of magnets for your refrigerator goes along with this series. I hope that makes some sort of sense. I know it might sound vague, but that's my focus for YouTube and for Patreon and for my website, which I want to work on, and my email list. And the ladies here can put up links to all that. Everywhere we can be found, Patreon, the website, like I said, email list. There, you just go to heritageways.com and a little pop-up will ask you to, sign up. So that is my focus, because honestly, I neglected a lot during Project 54. And again, that's not whining. That's just how it is. I feel like I took on a full-time job on top of my jobs that I do. And I feel for you moms who do that. It's not easy. And so many moms need to do that, have to go out of the home and work. I know, because I've been there, but that's what I feel like happened this summer. And so I neglected a lot. And so I'm now committed to being a better steward of a lot of things. So that's that. October, my focus is, can I go ahead and say it? I'm going to go ahead and say it because I planned it. Yeah. What we talked about last night. The cooking.
Oh.
Yeah. October, my plan is I will do some content on YouTube. And it will probably start the holiday season, October, November, December. I'll probably do a holiday thing, October, November, December, because I don't have that nailed down like I do September and January. So October, though, on Patreon, for all tiers of patrons, $2 on up, I'm going to do patron only, cook with me. And I'll tell you why I'm going to do it on Patreon only. I'll tell you that. 2 reasons. Number one, it's going to be live. It's going to be probably every Tuesday night, I think. I'm not sure. I have to figure that out. But it's going to be live once a week, cook with me, and I'm going to give the recipe and the ingredients out ahead of time so that the folks on Patreon can go buy the products and cook with me if they want to. Now, that idea came from a couple of patrons that are on Patreon now, and I love that idea. So I'm going to do that in October with patrons. And the reason I'm going to do it with Patreon is because it's going to be live. And I've never done anything like this, a cook with me thing, just a live, not edited. And since I do have little children in the home, and we have reasons why, obviously, everybody wants to be secure, and you never know what they're going to say or whose name they're going to call. And so I thought that it would be wise if I just do it on a private level and see how it goes. So that's really the two reasons. The first one being I've never done it before, and it's kind of a practice thing. And number two, it'll be kind of a security reasons. So that's going to be on Patreon only. And I'm not saying that to get anybody to sign up necessarily. I'm saying that to tell you that's my plan. And so, yeah, now on Patreon, we have free content. And you can go and follow like you would follow on, Instagram or wherever you follow stuff. So I put out a free one, public free one on Patreon just today, even tonight. So, okay. Then October, November, December for public. I do plan to have holiday series. Do you have questions?
Yeah. Where'd it go? Oh, shit. Can't get my computer to work.
While he's looking at that, I do plan to have holiday, like what you were suggesting, basically.
This is what I was laughing about a while ago. How are the weekly email giveaways going? Are people starting to claim them?
I had 11. It's 11 weeks, and I had one winner. I'm just disappointed because I'm over here trying to give away free stuff. I can't even give away free stuff. Good, new, free stuff. Cannon lids and stuff. Cookbooks. And I forgot last week, and I did it on Monday or something. I don't know. I forgot. And I don't know. Do I keep on? See, I don't know because I bought dozens and dozens, seriously, of canning lids. No, it's not going well. What's the next question?
Will you be bringing back Front Porch Church or maybe a devotional type series, which might be a good start, something like that in January, maybe?
Who asked that? I love that question. Who asked that? Show me who asked that question. Oh, yes, my sister. Okay. You know what?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's Deb. Pastor Joel. Deb.
Oh, okay.
He knows a lot of Debs.
Well, but I don't know people's
Excuse
names
me.
on here.
The reason I haven't done something like that is because I did it. It was a private, it was Front Porch Church. If you don't know, if you weren't with me then, that was something we did on Instagram, and I facilitated or operated. I had a devotional as often as I could. Tried to do something every day on there, whether it was a devotional or shared a scripture. And it was private on Instagram. And a lot of ladies, women only and private. And so that's why I don't know how I could do it, here. Because the ladies shared prayer requests and everything. It was a lovely, wonderful, precious group and a precious platform that the Lord led me to start. And he gave me the name, Front Porch Church.
All right. Several people are wanting to know how you're choosing the winners for the Saturday email thing.
Okay. Excuse me. We literally, I'm so Y'all, I'm so technologically advanced. You're going to be impressed.
Yeah, it's real technical.
It's real technical.
I mean,
so I pull up
I hope you guys can. I hope you'll be able to follow along because it's a very in-depth mathematical sequential thing.
So I pull up the constant contact, which is our server, or not servers. I don't even know the words, but the
email people
That's not the right.
The email list.
Who sends out my emails? Constant contact. That's who I pull up and I click on the word contacts and it pulls up 734 people, which is how many people I have right now. And I will scroll on my computer and I'll say, hey, little Missy, tell me when to stop my finger. And she'll say stop, and I'll do this. I'm not looking at it the whole time, and I'll stop, and that's the winner.
It's real scientific.
That's it.
Now, or should I say it's real scientifical?
Twice it'll say out to the side that they unsubscribed. So obviously I'll pick somebody else. That's it. That's it. All right. Do you have any more questions?
No, just I don't see any. No.
If I could figure out how to do the front porch church, I mean, my heart and soul was in that. And again, that's something that the Lord led me to start. And it was a beautiful group of ladies. I think 400 by the time it was over, because the Lord also, and he led us to get off of Instagram. So obviously that was the end of Front Porch Church. I want to take you into January. And again, this is just tentative, but you're interested in the series, I looked that up the other day. Series is singular and plural. So you're interested in the series. In January, in the wintertime, I thought it would be fun to do old recipes. And the premise will be they will at least be older than me. And funny, I've got my computer propped up with this book I'm going to use, Ladies' Home Journal Cookbook. This is just one of them. One of them I'm going to use is a 1920 cookbook. This one's 1960, so it's a little more recent. But I thought in the wintertime, I would just do those types of things. And some of the heritage recipes that that I have gotten in the past. Can I show you this? I want to thank y'all for my birthday gifts and my cards. This is gorgeous. My friend who's on here, I don't know if she wants me to say her name. She made this, and it is Civil War reproduction. I can't remember the pattern she said. And if you want to say
the fabric is Civil War reproduction fabric.
And if you want to say
it's the same
pattern,
the same type pattern that they would have had during the Civil War era.
I've got it over there, the tag that tells the pattern, and that's water. That's not a stain. That's just water. But is that not gorgeous that she sent me? Look at that. All right. Anyway, I just want to show y'all that. Okay, well, let's go over here. We haven't done a lot of the funny stuff yet.
Well, you hadn't. I'm sitting here looking. You hadn't done anything about stories of what went right.
Okay, here. I'm just going to read them, y'all. Let's laugh. Okay, but go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll answer them in a little bit. Okay, I wanted to tell y'all that a lot of times it was so hot in my kitchen that sweat was just beading on my face. Like I thought I was going to die. Now, my kitchen does not have an exhaust, which he's working on that soon, right? He was talking about it last night. So it does not have an exhaust. For some reason, the previous owners thought it was a good idea to not have an exhaust.
Well, and not only is it not having an exhaust over there, but in the kitchen, there's no air conditioner vent. So it's kind of like a double whammy. There's no cold air feeding into the kitchen, and there's no exhaust to draw the hot air out.
Anyway, I had to move. A lot of times when you see I had to take the camera off my face and you see my hands, a lot of it was instructional, and some of it was I'm about to die over here.
Was mercy, I'm dying.
And I had to put it on my hands only. So that. And I want to tell y'all, I don't know if they put the link up for the cookbook, but you can buy my first cookbook. And I wanted to say too that at the start of this, because I'm crazy like that, I actually started my second cookbook and I'm almost done with it. It's going to be 150 pages. A real live printer is going to print it. It's going to be nice. Almost done with it. Lord willing, I only have like 2 full work days, like 2 8-hour days. And then I'll proofread it. Then I'll send it to the printer and I will have that out for y'all. And here's what you need to know. It's going to be one of a series. See, we're liking this series idea. It's going to be one of a series because I've already started the next one and the next one too because wheels turning. And so no recipes will not be duplicated in any of my cookbooks. If maybe 1 or 2 out of 3 or 4 cookbooks, but if you buy each of my cookbooks, you will have different content in each one. So I just want to tell you that too, in case you're wondering. All right. So I wanted to tell you that many times it looked like a cyclone hit my kitchen. Y'all, I had dishes piled on the bar and I had food piled on the Hoosier cabinet. I mean, cooked food or ingredients. I had this table we're sitting at piled high with dishes. And just stuff. I mean, I had pots and pans. Sometimes there was one day I made 3 videos because it was one day that my friend, it was Ellie. Ellie's on here, y'all. Say hi to Ellie. Tell her thank you for keeping my kids that day or 2 days. But I was like, I made 3 videos. I was feeling good. That was the day I made the strawberry pie video. And can we just stop and remember the strawberry pie? Oh my goodness. Can we just remember the strawberry pie? And while I'm talking, I want y'all to write down your favorite recipe or food that I made during this whole thing.
Oh,
so
no,
write that
down.
down.
Keep up with that?
No, sir.
Okay.
So I'll skim it. So anyway, I made 3 videos that one day that Ellie had the kids, and I sent my friend Darlene, who's on here, Super at 60. I sent her a picture, and I had over here, I had plates of food I had tried, and I said to her, I will not even be hungry for supper because I have eaten all this pie and all this food. So it was kind of funny. Well, it's funny now, but I had it piled up everywhere. And talking about food, I mean, I gave pineapple upside down cake to the neighbor boy. I gave to Miss Jeannie 2 houses down. I gave her all kinds of food. I mean, I told her what I was doing. Gave the neighbors over on this side food. I said, look, I'm making all these videos. And I said, I've got all this food. And sometimes it was ridiculous how much food I had. The blueberry salad was amazing. But we were like, y'all, somebody please finish the blueberry salad because we don't want it to go to waste. So we did have a lot of food, and sometimes it was a lot of sweet stuff because I would do batches of things at a time of videos. I often had to stop the dishwasher. So y'all, I thought this was I would have to run the dishwasher. Well, the dishwasher is not newfangled. It's an old dishwasher. So it takes like 13 hours to run a cycle, it feels like. And it's loud. And so I would have to open the door of the dishwasher, film something, steam's coming out of the dishwasher. So I'm shutting the dishwasher back again so I can film it again. Okay, turn the camera off. Okay. So, it was back and forth. So that was that was a little crazy about the dishwasher. I want to stop here real quick and tell you about Little Miss Homemaker's pot holders too, because I used those, and a lot of folks, this is a new set that's actually headed out right now. Somebody has ordered this, and I'm going to package it up and send it out. But she uses these heritage colors. That's what we call these colors. And the loops are made in New Hampshire. It's made in USA. And they're all cotton. It's not any plastic, nylon, polyester, none of that. It's all cotton. Little Miss Homemaker makes these, loves making them. She adores coming up with the different patterns. She's thrilled about, she puts her heart into all of them. So she makes these, and this is one way she makes a little bit of income. So if you're interested in this, I'm sure somebody can put a link up for us if you don't mind, for Little Miss Homemaker's pot holders. All right. So Yeah, I wrote on here the neighbors got casseroles, they got salads, they got strawberry icing. Now let me tell you about strawberry icing I gave to our friends. So I did a whole video. Oh my goodness. And this is one of those videos where all the kids were gone one day. And I was so proud of myself because it was white cake. And I thought, well, I'll do cupcakes instead of cake. And I'll do this fresh strawberry icing. Oh, my stars. So I did the cake and I used a recipe that I've used forever. Like it had notes all over it. Did for Morgan's birthday, did for John Boy's birthday, did for my birthday. I've got notes all over that cake, the recipe. So it served me well for so long. So I made it. And then I made the homemade cream cheese strawberry icing. Put little fresh strawberries on top. I bit into one and it was like a rock. I was embarrassed and there wasn't even anybody here. So I thought, well, I have filmed this entire video. So I put it on Patreon and I said, okay, y'all, just so you know, don't make this cake. I don't know what happened with this cake recipe. I think I accidentally, or I must have used cake flour instead of all purpose, or something wasn't sifted, or I accidentally put an extra cup of flour. I don't know. I didn't go back and watch the video every step to see what I did wrong, because what's the point? I wasn't going to be able to use it because I just couldn't. I just, in good faith, I don't want to be fake and I don't want to stand there and eat a rock and tell you it's delicious. So anyway, threw the cupcakes away and gave the icing to my friend. I'm going to go have to get some ice water, or do you mind getting me some? Would you mind?
I'll get it.
Okay, thank you. So I gave the icing to our friends, which the icing was fine, I thought. But so that video I put that up on Patreon. I said, okay, here's an example of a video, or it didn't make it to Project 54. All right, I want to tell you at the end of the hamburger tater tot, thank you, video, I was competing, and if you want to, you can go back and watch it. At the end of that hamburger tater tot video, thank you, I was competing with Little Miss Homemaker, who was on my laptop doing her mommy's day, what does she call it? Little Missy's mommy care, where she, through Zoom, she, this is one of her jobs, her business rather. And she does Zoom through, or she does kind of babysitting, if you will, or teaching through Zoom. And so I was competing. So if you go back and look at thank you, hamburger tater tot casserole video, you'll hear some talking in the background at the end of that. And I was competing with her doing that. Not competing in a negative sense, but I had to get the video done and she had to get that done. And so, and here's, so a lot of y'all noticed that I had my little fake Dollar General pretty little fingernails on with some of the videos. And I was just I just wanted to do that for myself. And I thought, well, I'm going to go get me. I can't afford a manicure. I'm going to go to Dollar General and get my first in my whole life press-on nails. Well, I did. And so then he says to me, about a week later, after I put them on. So I had just taken them off. I took them off the right way and all that stuff. But because a couple of them were falling off. Mm-hmm. And so he says to me, tell him where you found one of them. Do you remember? It
was in the refrigerator in one of the trays on the door. Get up one morning trying to get my breakfast. I'm already half asleep and I open up the door and it's like, whoa, hey, hello. I was like, oh, great. No, so that's some wonderful glue you got there. That's why you don't need to be wearing fake nails. They come off everywhere. I'm just glad they didn't come off in any of the food you were cooking. That would have been chewy.
Oh, y'all, he told me, he said, I opened up, I wrote it down, so I remember. He said, I went to get, he said
Calm down.
he said, I went to reach for my mayonnaise. And there was your fingernail.
Kind of spooky.
Yo, I mean, he said, there was your fingernail sitting there by the mayonnaise. I'm sorry, it was hilarious because I woke up because I get up after he goes to work, and my fingernail was sitting on the kitchen counter. Oh, I gotta stop. Oh my goodness. Read the questions.
Well, there's not any questions.
Oh, see, if
There's
I
not
get
any
going.
questions right
Okay.
now.
Oh my goodness. And okay, so I texted him. I said, why is my fingernail sitting here? He said he found it next to the mayonnaise. I'm sorry, I don't know why that was so funny. Oh, okay. And then there was a thing when I made him
Finger food.
I'm sorry. I just somehow I thought that was hilarious that because his reaction was like, okay, no, this is not okay. Your fingernails are by the mayonnaise. And then I made him something, y'all. I made him one of the foods, and I was like, I even said on the video, Mr. Patient, I've been eating this for years. Started making it when I was newly married. All that was true. And then he told me about 3 days after we had so much of it, and he was like, okay, so I don't like that. And I never have. Do you know what it was?
I don't.
It was the fire and ice tomatoes.
Oh.
The fire and ice tomatoes. So I thought all the live long day, I thought that he liked it.
Well, I like the tomatoes. I just don't like. I like onions cooked in stuff. I like onions on my.
Don't want to be too close. Go
I
ahead.
like onions on my hamburgers, but just to eat onions, I don't like just eating onions.
Okay, well, I thought that was funny too because I was like, oh my stars! I told all the people, and I've been making it for him for years. Okay, in a minute we'll talk about the things that I didn't make or that I make that I've made that you don't like. I'm sorry, I laughed. Now my coughing's big. All right.
Well, and then there was we're trying to remember what it was you had me give away to our friends. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, to the art?
Yeah.
Was that the ribs? That was the pork ribs or the boneless pork ribs, wasn't it?
No.
He was bitter that I made him give something away. It
was something that you made
that I gave.
Oh, it was the Mississippi mud. You had me try it on film.
He's bitter.
And I got one bite, and then you had me give it away to our friends Perry and Ellie, and I'm like, seriously?
Okay, you're gonna make them feel bad. Like you're joking right now, aren't you? Okay, he's not joking, actually. The truth was we were going on vacation. We went to Amish country, which is an hour down the road, and I didn't want to have all this food. That's the truth. And you were happy to give it to Perry and Ellie, weren't you, Mr. Patient?
Yeah, I was happy to give it to you, but I would have liked to have more than the one bite. That one bite just made me mad.
Okay, now I'm fixing to have to make some. Okay, so I'll make you some tomorrow. How about that? All right. All right. Yeah, Perry says it was Mississippi mud, and I hope it was good, Perry. All right, so I wanted to ask y'all a couple trivia things. I don't know if you'll know it. Oh, did y'all write down what your favorite foods were? Did you notice if anybody did that?
I mean, there's a few eggs Benedict.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Here's some trivia. Which videos didn't contain my hospitality segments, not counting the canning videos? And you may not know, and that's fine. This is just kind of a fun trivia thing. There's two of them, and I'll tell you why. Anybody know which videos did not contain the hospitality segments? Not the canning videos. So, and the canning videos, I just thought they were too long, so I didn't add the hospitality segments. Plus, I just didn't. But the two videos I did not put hospitality segments was the fermented ketchup, because I thought that was too long anyway, and I was just trying to not be too long. And the check the mud cake for fingernails. And the golden milk. And the reason I forgot the golden milk hospitality segment is because that day is the day I filmed it, I edited, I uploaded that video on the very same day that I had to get all 200 of the journals out. So if you don't know what the journals are, let me drink some water and tell you about that, and maybe somebody can throw a link up. All right. Quick thing, Journal is our Heritage Ways community newspaper. It's awesome. I'm not going to go into detail because we have videos about it. People are loving it, and I'm not saying that because I write it. I just compile what's given to me and add a little bit extra. But on that note, I need content for September's newspaper. But there's deadlines. All that information is on my website. And so you can find out deadlines of when to submit, how to buy, and all that. But maybe somebody can throw up some information about the journal. But anyway, I want to thank everybody who's here. And we're going to give away a cookbook here in a few minutes. I want to thank everybody. So I had so many verbal mistakes in the lime pickles. We talked about Gran's pickles a while ago. I had so many verbal mistakes. I had to correct one of them at the beginning. And the reason for that day is because I was burning up. I was so hot in the kitchen. And yes, we have air conditioning, but there's no, as he said a while ago, there's no air conditioning vent in the kitchen area, and there's no exhaust from the stove, which he's going to work on soon. But I was so hot. That's why there are so many mistakes in the Gran's lime pickle video, if you notice that. And then in episode 37, in the sweet tea video, I had told you at the end of that one that I was anxious, and I was going to tell you why. Well, it was two reasons. That is the first video that I filmed after having just hit 9,000 subscribers. So, which is, I never, ever seriously dreamed that would even happen. I'm thankful, but like.
You never thought you'd get to 500?
No.
Where are you now? Did you hit 10,000?
No, we're going to have another big party and give away all kinds of stuff when we hit 10,000. Maybe some of those canning lids that we had to get rid of.
Well, but I was predicting that by the end of Project 54, you'd be at 10,000.
Yeah, I know.
Missed it.
And thank you for those of y'all who are saying you appreciate the journal. Some folks on here just know that some folks don't know what the journal is. So I appreciate you saying that you enjoy it. It's just it's in the top drawer. There's one if you want to grab it. Just any of the files where it says, yeah, there's one. This says, I wrote our copy on here, but this is not the newspaper. I printed on newsprint. Here you go. This is printed on newsprint. And this is May, the May one. It's every other month. So I've sent it out in July. Puzzle on the back. Try to have a theme. I write a little thing on front. All volunteer staff. None of us get paid. Nobody gets paid. News from home. There's a pantry section, which is recipes. There's a writer's corner where people submit. That's the thing. The community submits the content. The Heritage Ways community, anybody submits the content. They write news from home. What's going on? I'm telling y'all, that is what people love the most. They love reading.
And mainly what you're doing is you're just compiling the content and doing the editing and the compilation and layout.
And that's a lot of work, but I love it. What I love is the reaping the rewards, not rewards, but I love the blessing that it brings to people. And I mean, it's just, you're not allowed to talk about politics in here or sicknesses, as you know what I'm saying, what's going on in the world. We don't belabor all that in here. This is something that you can open up and you can know with full confidence that you are just going to read something soothing and what so-and-so is canning or what they're going to grow this fall or the baby's being born on the homestead or a poem that somebody wrote or Nancy's nutrition and lifestyle tips. My friend Nancy in Tennessee. I write about some oils. My friend Wendy in Tennessee does the trivia. I mean, I don't want to keep on. We've got videos about that. I could go on and on about what a blessing that has been. And I think that's because the Lord laid that idea on my heart as well. And so when he does that, things succeed. All right. So the sweet tea. So the two reasons I was nervous is because I had just hit 9,000 and it hit me, oh my stars, there's a lot of people subscribed. And there's a lot of new people on here that don't know me or know anything about me. And that made me nervous. I'll have to say the sweet tea video was, I don't get nervous when I'm doing a video like in my kitchen, like I am now because it's live. But in my kitchen, I don't. But the sweet tea, I did. And number two reason was because it is so hard to teach somebody how to do something if you don't have a recipe. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to make sweet tea. And I'm like, I don't know a recipe for this. I just do it. So that's hard to do. And the footage on that, the raw footage on that was 50 minutes that I had to edit because I kept messing up and I kept being nervous. And so that was crazy.
Because sweet tea's hard. It's a labor of love.
Yeah. Episode 40 was the country green beans. And I was so sick with allergies and a cold or ragweed or whatever. I felt horrible. So if you want to go back on that episode and look at now that you know, I felt awful. But I wrote down, I could not think straight, but I sure enjoyed those beans with the bacon and the sugar. Mm-hmm. So they were good. Now, here's a question. What food got its own photo shoot? While you're answering that question, I'm going to read some of your comments. But what food got its own photo shoot? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of y'all didn't watch this video because you thought you don't like this food.
Got it. What do you mean by got its own photo shoot? What do you mean?
You have to watch the video. It's what I mean. It's got its own photo shoot. You're telling on yourself if you don't be careful.
Okay.
While I'm waiting on that question, if you are outside of the United States, you can order a digital copy of our cookbook, and the link is on our website for that. It'll clearly say this is a digital copy for outside of the United States. Trouble is you have to print it off yourself. We have mailed one to internationally, and the shipping was insane, but the person wanted it, so that's what they were willing to pay for. Also, I'm not exactly sure. Somebody said the other day that one of the buttons wasn't working, but the PayPal buttons. I'm not sure. All right. The journal takes me back to a simpler time. A lot of people said that. It's just.
And that was part of the idea.
Yes. And I got
That
the
was part of the
idea,
idea.
honestly, from the budget. Some of y'all have seen me talk about the Amish newspaper, the budget, and it's just our version of that. Thank you for saying that. So the tomato thing, Tanya's right. Tanya's right. The tomato aspect was so beautiful. She earned her own photo shoot. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to like almost the end of the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like the last, I don't know, third of the video. Okay. I have just a few more things to talk about. Let's give away our cookbook first, but then I've got some other things to talk about. Let's go ahead and do that. So,
how you going to do that?
Probably a number. I'll probably. All right, just to be fair and all that stuff, I'm typing a number out to my moderators and I'm sending it. So, just so nobody can say that I made something up. All right, there's the number. So, I didn't send here. I sent it to the ladies. There's the number.
All right.
All right. So, here's the thing you need to know. I have the settings so that Mr. Patient could read the questions easier. I have the settings to where you can only respond every 20 seconds. So they can't like shoot them off every 2 seconds. Right. Anything. So every 20 seconds. So if it won't let you answer, just wait 20 seconds. So I guess the person who wins needs to be willing to give us their mailing address. If it's within the United States, Mr. Patient will get a cookbook out to you when? Tomorrow?
Should be able to do it tomorrow as long as you give me the address.
Right. So you would have to email us your address. You have to be willing to share your address. It is not going to cost you anything and no shipping or anything. We're giving you a copy of my first cookbook from Katie's Kitchen. Also, if you're outside of the United States, we will send you a digital copy because, like I said, it's very expensive to mail outside of the United States. So we will go ahead, and when I say stop, we will go ahead. We'll stop. We have a winner. But between pick a number, because I'm not too creative, so we're just going to pick a number. We're real scientific too, remember? Pick a number between 1 and 150. 1 and 150. Pick a number, and if you don't win, don't leave, because I still have few more things to share in the next 10 minutes. Pick a number, and you can go ahead and throw them out there between 1 and 150, and when we have a winner, we'll let you know.
Yeah, they're coming. I don't see it. Don't see it. Don't see it.
Yeah. So while you're throwing those numbers out there, I just want to thank y'all again for, and I mean this, I'm so overwhelmed with the kind comments. So many people have recognized, I mean, I know a lot of people have, but so many people have commented that they have recognized, let me know if you see the number, that they have recognized the work and time and effort I put into making, 5 videos a week. And so they have thanked me, and I just appreciate your views, your comments, the folks who've subscribed. I feel like we have a lot of great value-driven content planned, and I hope that we will continue to grow, but that's in the Lord's hands, and I trust him. This is his doings. We don't do this to get rich because, like I said, refer to the 25 cents an hour.
We don't have a winner yet.
Keep going. But I'm serious that I want to thank you, and I'm very appreciative of you, and I tried my best to answer every comment, and I feel badly when I don't get to, but I just can't always. So, all right. I'm going to reduce it for you. It's between 1 and 100 now. between 1 and 100. And I'm going to get up and get some chapstick while you're looking. If you'll watch,
I'm
be
watching.
right back.
I don't see it. I think that 20-second delay is slowing the numbers down
Well,
coming
I
across.
can't. Well, I'll tell you what. When you don't have that, it goes so fast that it's
Oh, I
you can't
know.
keep up with it.
Yeah, it is. Don't have it. Don't have it. Don't have it. Between 1 and 100, y'all.
Well, but there's a delay that they might
Yeah, I
not
know.
have heard. All right. I'm going to let him watch for the number, and I'm going to tell you some other stories. So I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you the two things that I made that were absolutely gross, and Mr. Patient refused to eat them in our marriage. But first, I'm going to tell you why I started cooking in the first place. And I was 9 years old, and we lived on a farm. We had 40 acres, and that's the Tennessee farm in southern Middle Tennessee, Marshall County, Tennessee. And that's where I grew up with my brother and my sister, and that's where we ended up buying the farm from mom and daddy. And we raised our three oldest sons, and then that's where we lived when we brought the littles into our family through fostering. And it was wonderful. Wonderful childhood, wonderful place to live in an 1830s old drafty home that I love so much. And between 1 and 100, y'all are dancing around it. So, okay, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to say it's between 1 and 90.
Boy, that really helps.
Well, I don't know. So anyway, when I was 9 years old, actually 8 years old, we moved from Nashville, Tennessee, down to this farm an hour south of Nashville. And my daddy was a high school teacher. He drove to Nashville to teach. And my mama at that time stayed home. Later, she went to become a teacher too. But daddy had a garden that was huge, huge. And the summer that I was 9 or turned 10, I guess it was, but I was 9 and 10 that summer. And I'm terrified of snakes. Like, I'll just say it. I used to couldn't even say the word. And I'm terrified of them. And daddy had a huge garden. And when the zucchini and everything got real big, the leaves were huge. And down there in the heat in southern Tennessee, snakes would hide under those leaves. And it would just terrify me. And I was like terrified. It's not something that I just didn't want to go out around. I was terrified. And so I just refused. Now, I was taught to be respectful to my family. Y'all doing good. Keep going. Couple of you are close. But still. Anyway, and I was taught to be respectful, and I am, and I was. But I just told my daddy I could not. At 9 and 10 years old, I said, I cannot go out there with everything grown up like that. I'm terrified. Because I'll never forget racing that zucchini leaf and seeing that big black snake, and it just terrified me. Well, my daddy, and I don't mean this, I don't blame him. He's right. And he said, well, you've got to do something to feed into the family's economy. You can't just not work in the garden. I was the oldest, and my sister was newborn, and my brother was in between us. And so I don't remember how it played out, but I was very happy to take my place in the kitchen from that summer on. So from the summer I turned 10, I was cooking the meals for the family. I say the family of 5, while mom and daddy went out to the garden. And that way they didn't have to cook the meals. So that is the reason. And I don't blame daddy, and I'm kind of glad it worked out that way, I guess. But he was like, well, you've got to do something. If you're not going to help us in the garden, you've got to do something. And I was like, hallelujah. Yes, sir. That is fine.
I didn't know this was going to be that hard.
Well, I'm going to narrow it down. Here we go. I'm going to narrow it down, y'all. It's going to be between 25 and 50. Now, somebody's fixing to get it. So just watch and see who gets it first. Between 25 and, what did I say?
25 and 50.
Yeah, between 25 and 50. You get the free cookbook. It's already printed off, ready to go. He'll have it. There she is.
What?
No.
No.
No. Okay. Close. That was close. Woo. So that is why everybody can guess. Our members, our moderators, everybody, anybody. It's.
Thought the moderators knew the number.
Oh, that's right. They do know the number. Oh, yeah, that's right. They can't guess. Laura, you can't guess.
Evidently, she didn't get your text.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, so that is why I started cooking at the age of 10. And then I want to tell you
her phone died. There it is.
Where are you?
Ellie Kate. 39.
Ellie Kate, you just now said you wanted to order one. Look at you. Okay, so she would get a digital. Ellie Kate, see if I'm right. Would you get it?
Young, stop.
Yeah, we got it. Ellie Kate, say congratulations to Ellie Kate. So I want to tell you a couple stories. One of them, and we're going to talk fast here. We got 5 minutes, according to or 2 or 3. So I'm going to end with a little tearjerker, I guess, but not intentionally. But that's what's going to happen. So I want to tell you. The little sting, the little song at the beginning of all my, in the black and white, at the black and white part, the name of that is Hurry to the Kitchen. So I just thought that was a little neat trivia. And then I want to tell you, I'll let him tell you about the 2 things that I cooked.
That makes me sad.
What?
You said you're going to end on something sad.
That's not it.
Oh.
And so I'm going to tell you what happened one time when I was catering. And then I'm going to let him tell you about the 2 things that I cooked that neither one of us liked. And then I'll tell you my little tearjerker, I guess. I'm trying not to jerk my tears, but I might. So when I was catering, I was a one-woman show with a helper. I've always had a wonderful helper, no charge. Bless his heart. And I was catering. This is back when I was also teaching school and pregnant, because I never do things like, small scale, I guess. And I was doing luncheons, I did my sister's wedding reception, and then I gave birth 2 days later. So that was interesting. But I was doing this teacher's dinner at my mama's school when my mama was teaching home ec. And the principal asked me to do the teacher's dinner. It was a picnic at the park, the state park. And I had to cook the food at the school cafeteria and then take it to the state park. It was a lot. It was a lot. And so I don't remember how this happened. This was years ago. And y'all, the older I get, the less embarrassed I get about things. So I'm not embarrassed to tell you this, because I do know how to cook. Okay. And I do know how to fry chicken strips, but I had bought the prepackaged, like having the restaurant and the schools and stuff, the bags of frozen chicken strips. And I don't remember all the details, but I was using their fryer at the school, or I don't know. So I got them to the park and I was serving them. And I had cooked them in batches, of course. And I was, cooking them in batches. And so they were done. And then we got to one batch. And I think it was the last batch, thank the Lord. Not many people ate it. Or if they did, nobody said a word to me, which that was embarrassing. But I took the leftovers home. I know you're supposed to throw them away, but I took them home. And I cut into a couple of those last batch of chicken strips, and they were raw as raw can be. Raw, y'all. I was mortified. Oh, my stars. I went back up. I mean, I could have crawled under the school, but I drove myself back up to the school immediately, told the principal what happened, apologized to the principal. I think I offered to give her money back, which wasn't much to begin with, because I hardly ever charged anything. And that's another story. That's why I decided to go out of business, anyway, raw chicken to the teachers, y'all. Oh my goodness. Tell them what I made. That was so gross. And then I'll tell them my story and I'll tell them good night after
Which
that.
one?
When we were living in the ghetto, at the two.
There were two.
I know. The
Okay.
loaf and the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was so one time she made a turkey meatloaf, and it was kind of like mushy.
Alpo. I'll say it.
And dog food.
It was like Alpo. It was like Alpo. Y'all know what Alpo is? Dog food. It was awful. So, is that the time we sat down? That was the time. If I lean up, I'm too close to the mic. But that was the time that we sat there. We were newly married, and we both looked at it. I had gained weight. And I was trying to be all healthy with my turkey meatloaf. And we sat down at the table and we both looked at it and we were like, we're going to Taco Bell. Which probably you don't know what's in the Taco Bell meat. I don't know.
USDA.
I don't know.
Prime choice.
Then there was the time that I wanted to impress my king of the hill. Newly married we were. So I decided I'm going to grill some turkey legs, and he can eat his big old turkey leg like they did on movies or whatever. And he bit into the big old turkey leg and it bled. And we were like, we're going to Taco Bell. So since then, I'm never allowed to make turkey legs or turkey meatloaf, right?
Right.
And so
you can make it. I'm just not going to eat it.
There are things that he says you can make it. I'm just not going to eat it.
I'll go to Taco Bell.
At the time we lived in Nashville, we were both in college. No, he was. I wasn't. I was teaching school. And I was trying to be impressive. I knew how to cook, but I mean, oh, and you know what? I'm going to throw this in here too. Speaking of. So I may have said this on a video, but when we first got married, he hadn't had casseroles much because he says, well, he always thought they were like, or when we were dating, because he always thought they were like for rich people. And I was like, well, no, we always have them because you throw everything together and what you got, you know. So, anyway, the last thing, and again, I want to express how thankful I am to y'all. I invite y'all to stay tuned. Coming up, I'm probably going to take a little break for a few days because I've got to give some attention to my children and family and prepare for homeschooling. But just know that we are on Patreon. We have other content over there. Excuse me. And I do have things in the works, but here's the thing. I'm going to go back and read your suggestions, but look, that helps me tremendously. If y'all would write down in the comments of either this or after the video is finished here and it processes on the channel, you can write comments there too. And if you have any suggestions of things you want to see, I'm thrilled to try to fill those suggestions because y'all, I love one thing I didn't say that was on my notes. I love this avenue, the videography. I love this so much. Now, if you saw my bloopers and outtakes, you'll know how much I despised all the lighting stuff. Like it drives me nuts. Like I don't want to have to learn it. And then food photography. Oh my stars. I hate food photography. But this I love sharing. I love this avenue, and So I would ask for your advice and opinions and suggestions. So you may have seen this little bee on my shoulder, and you may have heard of Zig Ziglar. He was a motivational speaker back in the 90s, like 80s, 90s maybe. And he wrote, he had all kinds of sayings like you You need a checkup from the neck up. Means you need to check your attitude or change your attitude. Or he was a motivational speaker, and Mamie McCullough is one of his proteges, and she wrote a book too. And for the life of me right now, I can't think of the name of it, but he wrote multiple books. And my mother got a hold of some of them.
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That wasn't them. No.
Was that not him?
Mm-mm. And so Mama always wore a bee on her shoulder. And she had all these kinds of different bees. And she had some she would even wear mowing the yard or in the garden, like her worker bees, no pun intended, or her fancier ones like this one. And she had, and then people would give her bees. And when she passed away, in the obituary, they called her the bee lady, not because she raised bees, because she didn't. But so, and write your comments. That's fine. You can write while I'm talking, and I'll read them later as far as ideas. Mama got that idea from the Zig Ziglar book and the Mamie McCullough books, because a bee is designed by our creator. If you look at it aerodynamically, and I may be saying that all wrong, but it should not be able to fly. Its body is bigger than like, how do I say that?
Aerodynamic.
Yeah, aerodynamically, its body is larger in size than its wings should be able to handle. So a bee defies that. And our creator designed the bee's wings to be able to carry its body, even though it scientifically should not be able to carry such a large body. And so the premise is, you can. That's the name of Mamie McCullough's book. I Can, You Can Too. That's the name of it. And so Mama had forces in her life that always told her she couldn't do so and so. And I am the same. I had a force in my life that always kind of told me I couldn't do this, that, or the other thing. Oh, God. Or, made me feel like I was too stupid to. And I may not portray that on videos. I don't mean to. But Mama always wore that bee because she overcame a lot. And I'm talking since young girlhood. And she was very, very positive. And everybody knew it. Now, just a short explanation. I'm from if you don't know, so my dad is from the North. He went to college in the South. He met my mama, who's from the South. They lived there for 40 years. They raised us 3 kids. We're not from Ohio. Daddy and Mama moved to Ohio, and we moved into the farmhouse where I grew up, raised our 3 big boys, and then fast forward, and now he and I live here. So that is why I have a Northern daddy and a Southern mama. So anyway, so when Mama moved from Tennessee in 2001, 20 years ago. In 2001, she and Daddy moved. They moved to his family farm, and she was a teacher in Tennessee, and she got a job up here in Ohio, in Bucyrus, at, what's the name of the school? Colonel Crawford. And she taught high school here, home ec here too. So she taught there and she taught here. And her influence was a large circle. And just like at Mr. Patient's daddy's, because they are the same type of personality and influential. In fact, they went to school together in high school. At both of those funerals, Mr. Patient's daddy and my mama, the lines were just 2.5 hours long. It was just incredible. And so in this story, I'm talking about my mother, and she just was so influential. And yet in the obituary, they called her the bee lady. But all those people, I don't know if they knew the story. And mama always wore a bee to remind herself that she was capable and she was worthy. And so I don't always wear the bee. This is one of mama's bees that I acquired. She had several, and daddy passed them around to all of us girls and to Aunt Linda. And I wore this on my apron to thank my mama for everything she taught me. I'm trying hard not to cry. I know y'all don't want to see that. To thank her for everything she taught me. And to remember that I am worthy. And to be able to have the opportunity to tell you this story, to tell you that you are worthy as well. You are capable of doing the thing, whatever the thing is. You are worthy. You are worth it. You are capable. You are stronger than you think. You can work through that hard goal, even if it's just to prove something to yourself, which is what I did this summer. You can work through that, and you can accomplish whatever it is you set your mind to if you work hard enough, because the creator who created this bee created you to be strong and mighty in him. And that is my story about the bee. I didn't mean all the tears to flow. I was trying to do it without it. That is my story about the bee. So you are welcome to wear a bee on your left shoulder to remind you. And when you see me wearing an apron that has it, I want you to remember that about yourself. So that is the reason for wearing the bee. Thank you for enduring. I tried. All right, we're going to wrap it up now. Some people get turned off by the tears. Some people get turned off by my mentioning Patreon or members or selling a cookbook. But you know what? Mr. Patient says you're just building your community. And you're just, when that happens, when somebody gets mad because, oh my goodness, you're trying to sell your cookbook. People are interesting. I want to thank y'all for being here. And I'm going to tell y'all good night, but I'm going to take just about 20 seconds here to scroll. And I want to, I seriously want to thank y'all because you've come alongside me this summer. I did this for myself to prove something to myself. And I hope you were blessed and got a recipe or two out of it. So we have much more to do, and more, as my friend Stacey Lynn Harris says, more living to do. I'm not trying to take her motto, but that's how I feel. And we have a lot of platforms and ways that we try to use this ministry. And our ministry is to honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. And we give all glory to God because we can do nothing except through him. And I just ask that you would look for a couple of things coming up this next week. I don't know what days, but I have a new t-shirt campaign coming up. It's going to be 15 days only. And it's going to be the Bless Your Heart t-shirts. So those are coming up. I have my new series, the Good Steward series, based on how we can be better stewards of everything. So if you're interested in that and want to do better in that, stay tuned. We'll be introducing our line of magnets during that series. And Lord willing, I have my cookbook out, and
Don't.
soon. Well, we want it out.
Don't give a time.
I'm not going to give a time, but it's close. It's so close. In my first cookbook, there are a lot of stories. And so if you're interested in that, and I talk about a lot of the stories behind the recipes, it was meant as just a heritage item for my children and grandchildren, my descendants. And I'm so honored that so many people would want a copy of my cookbook. It's about 300 pages or something like that. And it's stories and tribute to my mother, it's menus, a donut, 2 pages of how to have an awesome donut party.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
So there's just a lot in that first cookbook, and Mr. Patient prints that up, binds it, gets that out to y'all. So I'll just be honest, he's thrilled that I'm using a printer for my second cookbook. He said, thank you for using a real printer. All right. Well, we're 15 minutes over, and that's par for the course for me. I want to thank you so much for being here. Ellie Kate, I need you to email me. Can you write my hey to Drummer? Well, Drummer, you can go back and you can watch the replay. We're about to end, but we can watch the replay. Drummer is one of our ladies who contributes almost said homemade poetry. What's the word?
Homemade poetry.
Original poetry.
Homemade. Well,
to the journal. Drummer contributes to the journal. Oh, good. Jenny's on here. I was hoping you would be. So I do hate I couldn't read every comment, but I couldn't do both at the same time. So can you type in for Ellie Kate to send me her? I'm pretty sure she's out of the state, so she gets a digital copy, but I just want to make sure. Or I've got her email. I've got it. Last thing I want to do is last and not least, of course, but I want to thank our patrons, and then I'm going to say good night. I want to thank our patrons, and because we are so thankful for Karen H, Terry and Tanya T, Matt and Stephanie B, Jeff and Tara E, Joel and Deb L, Tracy P, Rachel D in Texas, Life with a Table Full, Joyce N, the Rogers family, Gran, Jennifer L, Amy P in Texas, Amy P in Ohio, Carolyn B, Thomas and Wendy K, Sherry G, Crump Family Homestead, Glenda B, Sarah D, Mary C, Kate W, Dunya C, Barbara C, Celine R, except she's not an R anymore. She got married and I don't know her last initial. Ellie Kate, that's why I have Ellie Kate's address, because she's on here, or her email. B V, TJ Stein, Lisa B, Tahana B, Candace L, Candace, I saw Candace was on here a minute ago. Debbie B, The Wish Team, Denise, Jeannie H, Kadesh Farm Homestead, that's my friend Sis, y'all have seen me with Sis, Smoky Mountain Homestead, Bet D, Julie B, Karen O, Weaver family, they have a new baby, shout out to the Weaver family with a new baby, Daddy Curbs Farm, Christina R. Wood Home, did I run that together? Christina, and her YouTube is Our Wood Home. I think I said that fast. Jerry M, Betty P, Ellen F, 1919 Farm Homestead. So thanks to our patrons. And then we have 3 members as of today. And I believe those are Amy and Joyce and Amy. Yeah, 2 Amy's. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you have, sausage pinwheels, that sounds good, doesn't it? If you have other comments, I'm going to sit over here for a while, and I'm happy to converse with you through the comments section after we turn this off, and it takes a few minutes to process. So again, I don't want to leave y'all. It's like the Southern goodbye. If you're familiar with like the Southern goodbye, they say it takes them 30 minutes to say goodbye. That's me.
Well, you say it in the house.
You
say it at the door. You say it on the porch. You say it in the driveway. You say it after they get in the car or through the window. You say it again when they're at the end of the driveway.
That's the Southern goodbye. This right
can't
here.
They just leave already?
Well, no. If you're originally from the South, you understand. All right. Well, here, can you lean in, babe? You typing something to somebody? Oh, there's Ellie. So Ellie, if you'll please just send me an email after this is over and say, yeah, international, digital, or paper. Good night, y'all. He says it. Okay. Well, I love y'all, and I'm thankful for y'all.
Thank y'all for walking life with us. We appreciate you, friends.
Thanks for letting us be real, not being too scared of us.
Oh, we real, all right.
I know. All right. Talk to y'all later then.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I had one more thing I want to say.
Of course you did.
One more thing. I meant to tell you, I am going to commit to a video every Thursday night. That's what I wanted to say.
What?
Commit to releasing a video every Thursday night. So at least I'm going to put one out every Thursday night for now, and then more we'll see. Okay, there's my Southern goodbye. Oh, and this says, then you beep the horn. Yeah, of course. Hello. Okay. Deidre, you're in our thoughts and prayers, honestly and seriously.
All right.
Okay. Talk to y'all next time. Bye-bye.